Good morning. I'm so glad to have special guests with me that have been MageeNs all their life. Patsy and Elda still live here, but we were excited when Dolores decided to make a trip and come visit. And you know me, when they came by to see me, I could not resist taping them and letting them tell you a little bit about their years spent at Magee High School. I will have to tell you that Dolores used to take care of me when I was a little girl, and that might be why I'm so wild and woolly. She did. But it has been such a pleasure to see her come back, and her mother was so sweet to me, and I knew them through the store all my growing up years, and it's special when you get to be with people who were so dear to your heart forever. But I was asking Patsy earlier a little bit about their years at Magee High School. They all graduated together. What year?
1954.
And where did y'all hold your graduation? Was it?
We held it in the Magee Gym, and that was the second graduation that had been held in that
This
building.
gym right now,
That's
the same
correct.
gym.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
How many did you have in your class?
We had 57 to graduate.
You know, that was a pretty good number.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I would think so, that it was. What about your football team during those years? You know, I'm sorry if it's Magee football, we just saying, I got to ask you about football.
We had a good football team.
Did you?
Coach Carvalho was the coach, and I can't remember if they won any district titles, but they were very good and just had a good years. The only thing that we did not have was a annual, our senior
Really?
year.
Did not have.
We do not remember, but we have no annual.
Here's your one right here. I've been bragging on her books and telling her that she's got to leave them to the museum at some point in time. So they're good. But that's so sad, though.
It is.
That you don't think about that. I think sometimes none of us appreciate the annual, even until we're older, and can look
We
back
didn't
at
have a gym when we could have played basketball until 2 years before we graduated.
it. So it's
Our gym was the outside court,
Dirt
on
court.
dirt courts.
and but it was a fun time, and we were all just really enjoyed each other and just felt like family.
I'm sure
And,
that's true.
But I was
Where
so
did the-
glad that Dolores
I know,
came to
she
visit
surprised us.
me.
You've got to tell us.
Yeah.
How long have you been gone from Magee, Dolores?
Well, I left in '54 after I graduated, went to the W
Mm-hmm.
for my 4 years, and then I went to Amory and started teaching in Amory, and I taught in Amory for 28 years.
Oh my goodness, that's
And my last 10 years, I was vocational director, so I retired in '96 after 38 years in education. Now, you think I haven't seen some changes?
That's the truth. That's true.
And back to our graduation, we graduated on April the 11th.
Why so early?
And we didn't start to school, I don't think, until October, did we?
Oh my
That is
goodness,
April
really?
13th.
It might have been April 13th, but we graduated in April.
Uh-huh.
My goodness.
And we didn't have to go to school as many days back then as we do now.
And look, y'all are smart as ever.
The state requirements were not as rigid as they are now, but we just had a wonderful time. We didn't have many activities. We didn't have a senior prom. We had a yearbook
April 11th.
2
That's my
years
heart.
that we were in school. I think it must have been our 7th and 8th grade. We had a yearbook then.
Who were some of your teachers that y'all remember back?
Miss Brown was the business teacher, and Miss Puckett.
Oh, dear Miss Bucket, yes.
She was algebra.
Miss Finch
Miss Finch, Miss Mamie Lockhart.
Mm-hmm.
was our
Was
first
our
grader.
first
I
grade.
think she took everybody first grader primer, right?
That's exactly right.
Miss
And,
Pendergrass, Mr. Pendergrass,
Miss-
Miss Crabtree,
yeah, Miss Crabtree from Mendenhall was one of our teachers.
Mr. T.G. Lee, and Mr. J.W. Lee.
Well, okay, tell me about the weekends. What y'all do for fun?
We went downtown to the movie for 15 or 20 cents a ticket.
Where at the Ural Everett Park? That was where
That's
you were
right.
going to the movie, right?
right.
That's right.
And you probably went every weekend.
That's right.
And we all
So
worked at
Roy
Walker
Rogers.
Change.
For 25 cents an hour is what we made. we worked from 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday till 8 o'clock at night for $2.50.
Isn't that something?
And we were just so happy to make that money, you know.
That's awesome.
And Nelda got to work the candy counter.
And you were jealous, and you're still mad. She's still mad because Nell can't work in
No,
Canada.
I went to city drugstore. I was making $2.50 or $3 a day, and Mr. WC hired me, and I was making $5 a day.
Oh,
so I was
right.
really got an increase in salary.
Well, I don't know if you happen to see on that I got a note from Jane Mangum Hederman a couple of weeks ago that Miss Mangum, Miss W.C. Mangum, celebrated her 100th birthday.
I sent her a card.
Did you? Good. I did too. I did too. I was
That's
just,
wonderful.
you know, I haven't seen her. I guess that she went up there.
Well, we did. We were on the cemetery one day here in Magee, and she and Jane were driving around the cemetery.
How
Talked to
great.
her, and she looked just like she always did.
Isn't that something? Such special people in our lives all the way.
Absolutely.
All the way.
Absolutely. It was such, Mr. Traylor was our superintendent,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he left either the same year we graduated or maybe a year after.
The year.
Do many of your classmates still live in Magee? There are not many of y'all that are here
No.
now.
How
Most
many are
times scattered.
deceased out of our, about 13 or 14?
17, I believe.
17.
Mhm.
But you know, as I hate to say it like this, but that's not as bad because our class, which I graduated in '68, we already have 13 that are deceased. And that's, you know, that's not, I mean,
Right.
54 and 68 is a good bit of difference to have so many deceased. It does make a difference because, you know, when you go to school with these people since first grade, a lot of us did all the way through, you get really attached to those people and you don't ever forget them. You never forget them.
But you know, those people of you that live here in Magee, you don't realize how much change has taken place since 1954. Because when I left, you know, I went to college, I'd come back on the weekends and during the summers, not every weekend, but during the summers and work, and I worked at the bank when Mr. Wiley Keys was president of the bank. And but then after 1958, when I graduated from college and went to Amory, this is the first time, other than our class reunion that I just came for a day,
Really?
that I've been back here, and I just can't believe all the changes and how you know, so many people are gone that I knew, and we just had lunch at the McAlpin house with Gloria, and of course that's my Aunt Emma and Uncle Irma's house, and it was just amazing to be back in that house and to see what changes she's made, and I know y'all enjoy her.
Oh, we do. We were so
She's-
glad to get her.
She just does a wonderful job.
She does it. She's meant so much to Magee, to the city. She has.
I'm sure.
She has. Well, I've encouraged them to collect their stuff up for the when we have our museum in Magee. And same thing to you. Remember that if you're cleaning out or putting up, and we were all discussing that we know our children are not going to want our stuff at some point in time, to hold on to that stuff because Sherelle Williams is continuously working on the museum. I'm not sure when it'll be opened, but anytime you have visitors that come into Magee and you would like to come by and let us film you and show everybody, we would love to do it because they had no idea they were going to do this, and you can obviously tell I had no idea I was going to do it too. But I always think that these people are so special to our lives, and especially somebody that I haven't seen since I was 3, 4, 5 years old. It's great. I hope you'll have a good day and enjoy watching Magee News.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad y'all came. I am.